We have just coded our first line of functions for a calculator. So we know now that this first part works. 13 plus 5 equals 18. That's great. We're going to stop our program. We're going to look at our code now, and we're going to make some adjustments. And I'm going to leave this original bit of code here so you can see it as we're working through. Let's call this one easier method, and I'm going to quickly remark this so the computer ignores it. I'm going to leave it there so you can see the comparison between the two. So for this method, what I'm going to do is simplify a little bit. What we have written here in the first two lines can be summarized into one line. So I'm creating a variable as an integer, and then I'm stating that variable and telling the computer what I want it to equal. So if I summarize that into one line, I'm just going to delete this first part and back this up and say, instead of dim num1 as integer, let num1 equal the value of add1.text, I'll put that in one simple line. Dim num1 as integer, and it equals the value of add1.text. So I'm simplifying it a little bit. It's not a lot less typing, but it is a bit cleaner when you look at your code. So I will do the same thing with this one. And I will end up doing the same thing with the third variable also. Dim answer1 as integer, and answer1 is going to equal num1 plus num2. And there we have our final print that variable answer1 into our answer.text box. So the code's a bit simpler and cleaner. Let's run this and see what we get as a result. And obviously everything should work exactly the same. So here's our code. 15 plus 1 equals 16. And there we go. We've got a good result. All right, so that's a second method. Now what I'm going to do is do the same thing here. I'm going to copy this one more time and show you an even easier method that we can do the code for this in one line. So I'm going to remark this one so you can refer to it for comparison again if you want to. So this time what I'm going to do is start with answer.text. And I'm going to do all my variables and my values in here. So I'm going to delete this part completely. So this is going to be the easiest method. So answer.text is going to equal now the string value. So instead of doing all of the calculations and storing it as a variable, I'm going to have it print the string value of add1.text. Okay, so that is the information coming from the first text box. That is the string variable. It's saved as a value, and I'm then doing the math with it and converting it back into a string before I print it. So I'm going to add the value of add1.text to the value of add2.text. I'm then converting it back to a string, printing it into the text box. So let me go through that quickly one more time. So the answer.text is going to be the value of add1.text, whatever number's in that first text box, plus the value of add2.text, whatever number is in that second text box, and all of that right to there is going to be printed back into the text box as a string. Okay, so we have to convert it back to a string to print it back into our text box. So let's take a look at this and see if this will accomplish our goal. Okay, it looks like we have no bugs. Let's say 14 plus 7 equals 21. Okay, so that worked. So your task now is to continue with this code. I have given you the code for the addition. Stop that. And look at our code. So you could take this line, and that line can be used to code the equals sign for subtraction, the equals function for multiplication, and the equals function for division. What you would have to take care of, though, is changing. We're not using add1.text now, we'll be using sub1.text, sub2.text, and obviously we won't be adding, we will be subtracting. But for the most part, similar code will take care of the functions you need for your other equal sign. So I'm going to let you try and finish that off. If you feel easier or more confident using method 1, that's fine. If you feel more confident using method 2, it keeps things a little clearer in your head, that's totally fine also. But if you want to use the easiest method, the shortest method, I guess, maybe not the easiest, but the one that involves the least coding, you can certainly use that also. So it's up to you to choose which method is best for you. So go ahead and finish off your calculator. So I'd like you to call me over and let me see your calculator functioning for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And your answer is always showing up in your answer box. All right, good luck. Give that a try.